What's up, besties? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I make my viral keychain names / initial keychains. I made this with my 3D printer. I'm gonna go over the software that I use and just some generic basics. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to drop them in the comments below or to send me a private message if you are not comfortable doing that. All right, so first I'm gonna start off in my software, Canva. I have Canva Pro because I do other graphics like banners and other 3D prints that I do in Canva. So I have the Pro version. So I go ahead and I download my font. These fonts here, as you can see, it says uploaded, and that is because I uploaded them from another website called The Font, and I added them into Canva. So what I do is I type my font, choose the font that I want, I type my name, sorry, and then I choose the font that I want, and then I go and I hit download. And when I download, I always be sure to download it as an SVG file. Now, you can only do this with certain fonts, and you cannot do these with pictures. It will not work. For whatever reason, you have to convert the picture to an SVG file if you want to do it. It only works with names. Don't ask why, that's a Canva thing. There is a free version of Canva that you can use, so don't be upset if you don't have all the features. You can still make it work. So next I'm going to go into my next software, which is Tinkercad. This is where I will create the keychain. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and bring up text. As you can see, it's one of my most favorites as it has the star on it. So the way you bring it over, you can, I have an MacBook, so I'm just going to hold my trackpad and drag it over. So when I do that, as you can see, it automatically pops up a text box, and I'm just going to go click on it, and I'm going to delete text, and I'm just going to add the letter N because that is what I'm going to use. Now please be mindful, this is cap sensitive, so if you do not have your caps lock on, it will not give you a capital letter. So I'm just going to take my two fingers and I'm going to drag it to where I can change the view to where I'm looking at the bottom per se, because I want to make sure that my width is correct. So originally you can see it starts off at 10, and this is in millimeters. You have the options to change here to inches, but because I learned in millimeters, that's just something I'm more comfortable with working with. So I'm going to decrease this to 5, but mind you, eventually the whole entire design will be a 10, but this is what 10 will look like. This is what a 10 will look like. So my letter is 5 and my name is 5. But as you can see, I kind of combined them two together. So it's not exactly 10 because I don't want it to look too bulky, because again, this is going on keys. So after I do that, I go ahead and go back to the top view again by dragging my fingers across my trackpad. And now I'm going to go ahead and change my size. So the size that I found appropriate is 60 by, let's move this up, 60. All right, so now this does look big, but let me just zoom out, and it's really not. Okay, so as you can see, I now have my size 60 by 60, so I'm gonna click it, and you see, boom, measures, so 60 by 60, and my width is 5. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and click import, and I'm gonna go to choose file, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my name. So I click art. I don't know why, I just saw a tutorial that said somebody choose art, so I just started doing that, and I never questioned anything else. So I'm gonna scale it down to 50, and it's gonna import onto my software perfectly. Boom. All right, so automatically, I already know it's automatically set for the width to be 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the width back to 5. So now you can see the width is 5, and it's even with the initial. I do not want that. I want my name to pop a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and raise it to 2. Let's do 3. I'm gonna raise it to 3. 3 looks good for me. Again, it's your preference. However far you would like your name to stick out, that's what you can do. All right, as you can see now, we need to resize because this keychain will break. The initials will break. This is something that I did learn in the beginning because I did not realize that Your letters need to hold on to something for structure, and if it does not, it can cause it easy to break. It's plastic. That's what 3D printing is. So I'm gonna go and resize. I'm gonna shrink, 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 shrink. And I'll try to be mindful of when you are shrinking to keep the name to be in order or uniform, so it doesn't look too smushed together, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I have the name, and I kind of play with it a little bit to see what position I want. Different letters will give you a different outcome. Please be mindful, because just for example, the letter J does not have anything else to. Okay, phone died. Okay, so again, like I was saying with the letter J, you have to be careful when doing these, simply because, again, they don't have like an extra piece to hold on to. So what I like to do is I like to attach my name, and I'm just going to show you, for example. I like to attach my name, and I go with the letter of the grain of the letter. So I change it to the same thing, and for example, I just go and I use this, and I just rotate. If you want to, you can just type for it to go at a 90-degree angle. But again, I really could have just copied the other one, but I like to do this. I go ahead and I go with the grain of the letter, simply because it looks better to me when you do it this way, you know. It makes more sense. But again, I just do that. It's a preference for me. Because I feel like it looks weird when it's hanging across like this. Like it doesn't hold on to anything. It can break. Trust me, I originally started doing that, and then I found a better way, so I stopped. Okay, so now back to the end. So I've completed my names. It's not attached, so let me go and attach. I go back, check it. So how you would attach them to combine, you would drag a text box over it, and then you will hit this. This is the combine button. Now what that does is that makes sure that both designs are now together. So no matter what I do, and please, this is so important when doing before you print, because if you do not, and this is from learned experience, it will not print together, and you will have a print fail every time. And then you have the potential to clog up your 3D printer, which kind of happened to me. It wasn't on this one, but I'm currently waiting on another thermostat piece because it clogged and I accidentally cut it. But hey, I'm new to this. Again, I'm gonna go back over here to my basic shapes. Now, you do not have to make a hole, because they have an option over here, which is called the tube, that can act as a hole for you. So different letters, again, completely preference. You can see which letter you want. I go ahead and click my box. I found that a 10 by 10 hole looks good for me. So that's what I am going to use now. Again, this is completely preference. If you prefer something else, then by all means do so. So this will make the hole for you with your keychain. And this is what I mean when I say it will make the hole. It will make the hole for you. So I'm just going to be sure that I use my extruder that I use to bring the name up. I am simply going to bring this down into the design. Now, as you can see, you're like, wow, wait, it's poking up. Why does it look like this? Like, I can see it. So I can do a side view so you can see it even better. Always be sure that you bring it all the way down to the bottom of your design. If not, it won't go all the way through. And I've had a few like that. So what we have to do, we have to resize our width. So we're gonna bring that down to a 5 so it matches the letter. Now we have fixed that. As you can see, the hole is now the same size as the letter, and I'm just gonna bring this hole up a little bit. That's what I want to do. I want to bring it up so that and I think I want to bring it over. I want to have it on the end so it can hang off. So as you can see, I have now created the hole for my keychain. This is where all of the metal piece will go, and this is how it will hang. So it will kind of hang a little bit to the side. So now again, we have to do the same thing because it is not attached, so we have to go and regroup it again. So now we have regrouped and everything is grouped together. Now you can regroup at the end if you prefer and do everything at one time. I just did this in this video. Honestly, I don't have a certain preference. I do it all type of ways. So after you do that, you are now ready. You can change the colors here in here if you want. It truly does not matter, because what you'll do is you're going to export as a download. You're going to make it an STL file, because of course that's what we use to download our designs. And now I'm going to be in the Flash Forge, and this is the keychain that this is the bow that she wants. So I'm just going to add this design in here because I just want to do all of it at one time. You can name them in Tinkercad, but I'm lazy, so I do not. So I'm just going to move this over here. Now, mind you, I already know what file it was. Now, so I learned I do a 60 by 60 in Tinkercad, but I also know that when it comes into my Flash Forge Oracle Slicer, I like this number to be 65. I don't know why, but I just found 65 is a good number for me. So of course it's going to automatically pop up what color that you have in your original bank, but she wants a pink text. She wants a pink text, so I'm going to make it pink, and then I'm going to make the name white. Now I'm wondering, does she want that to match Let's just do this because I think she wants it to match. She actually wanted it to match the car charm. Sorry, had a blank moment. Oh. And so I'm gonna just go in and color all details. Everything, like I said, it pulls over, so I'm just going in off of my slicer and just making sure that all color text is appropriate and it matches what she requested, because sometimes it will have some little crevices that do not match. Okay, now, I just be clicking on here. All right, now she is ready to print. I have her card bow for her mirror, and I have her keychain. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure my support is on, because I do not want any failed prints, because technically the names are considered floating and it needs a bridge or stability to be placed under them. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the slice plate. So this is basically letting my printer know what to do, where to do it, how long to do it, to create this design. So some designs, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, if it's gonna take forever to slice, baby, just get ready to sit back and let you know that it's going to take forever to print. Just a word of advice. But ultimately, if you need a part 2 of how it prints, just let me know. All right, thank you guys. Bye.